Hey there, guys. Peter the Man here. And I'm making another video here about some things that maybe I can help someone out with. What I want to focus on in this video is nothing, like negative. I mean, there's a protest going on and shit like that, and there's not enough positivity really in this world. And anybody watching this video who has a problem with the way they see themselves, or they're struggling with some self-harm or anything like that, I just want you to know that everyone handles things differently, and the way you're handling it is valid because everybody has their own ways of coping, good or bad. Sure, some things we do aren't the smartest, but um, it is what it is, really. But everybody usually says you can, you can do it, shit like that, right? It's not about that. It's saying that you will do something and you will strive to get to that point and to improve. There's a lot of people who really have a lot of self-hate and think they're terrible people for the things they've done. Not everybody's perfect. Not every single one of us lives a perfect life, and we don't do sometimes the right things sometimes. We can't all be completely good. There's some bad aspects, but you become a better person to where things like that don't happen. Because we're all human, we're all prone to the same, and to the same thing happening, the same things that happen. Because we're all the same. It doesn't matter what race or color or what gender. We're all the same in the end. And there's just a lot of hatred put towards anything wrong with anybody. Everybody has their own problems, and what brings us together as a species is similar problems, because that way we can relate to that person and we can talk about it freely if it happens to bother us. I've gotten to the point where at one point I was that, one reclusive, like, emo kid, to where I literally would get away from everybody and just be really, really reserved. Was never really that open until I, you know, started smoking, and I'm I've made better for myself throughout the years. And not every day is going to be perfect, but try to make every day great, good. You know, you want to make it good despite how negative it might be, because there's a bunch of, you know, possibilities. There's a lot of views and perspectives you can take on every situation nowadays in your life. I mean, with all the current stuff going on, it's a really negative environment. And I said I want to bring a positive video to this community. Nothing aggro, no roasting, no nothing like that. Just to help people. I know a lot of people who aren't satisfied with their self images and stuff like that. And everybody's different. We're we're not human to all be the same, and that's what people don't realize. Medically, we're inclined to believe that everybody has got to be a certain way when everybody is different. People handle things differently. Everyone's body is different. Now, on the people who hate themselves because they have a lot of weight on them, I emphasize for you people, and I want you to get healthier. And you've got to see someone else. Like, it's not about just shaming you guys, right? It's not about that. It should never be about that. It's about, we want you to live longer and to be healthy, right? So I was watching a show, and this doctor gets a super skinny person, and supersized person, right? And they kind of exchange meals, and it actually shows them that everybody goes through the same struggle, and that they see that the struggle they're going through, because a lot of them, I mean, they have good self-images, and that's what's good. They have good self-images, but at the same time, they hate themselves for what they're doing. And sometimes you can't realize that you're doing it. You have to realize that you're doing it, and then pairing that person up with the super slim person, the super slim person with the super sized person, they see that we all struggle, we all have problems, but we want to see others in their best states. And I mean, there's not a lot of good in this world. There's a lot of people who don't give a shit. And I heard about a university that is literally going to punish students if they talk about depressing or suicidal thoughts. If you can't talk about it and get it out of your system and, tell someone, right, how are you going to feel better about anything? If anything, it's going to make it worse. And if the campus is doing this to, not be liable for anything, then that's bullshit. They're liable for every death that happens. Everybody has problems, and gender and race has just completely just dislodged that idea, because we got women who literally, invade like a self-awareness for like depression and suicide for men. Like, they have days for that, right? And then you have feminists that break up events and stuff that for that, and then they have events like that for women too. So see, people don't realize that we're all the same flesh and bone. It doesn't matter where we're from, right? None of that fucking matters. And I probably just got demonetized for saying that word, but I had to say it in that case. You know, um, you know, not not everybody's gonna make the best decisions in life, and some people, they'll say, you know, it doesn't, depression is not something that goes away. You just have to choose that. Uh, you're happy, like you. I mean, I know a lot of people struggling and shit, and I try to get through to them, and they don't. They can't hear it. But in the end, your your own happiness is what should matter. You should care about others to care about you, care about the people around you, even though people are different, and when people are different, there's fucked up people and there's alright people, right? But they're all, I feel bad if someone who is fucked up, because he's different, and right, I'm not gonna judge him for it, right? It's just what people are. Like, everybody's different. Like, you can't change a person. But when everybody or anybody has a problem, it should be deemed worthy, or it should be deemed worthy. You shouldn't have people saying, "Well, kill yourself, pussy." You don't know what that person's going through at that time. So how can you tell them that they can just get over it, right? If they have someone who they can trust to talk to, they can get over it. And then if they tell themselves that they will do things, they will get better, they will. And honestly, I got that advice from a friend a long time ago, and ever since I've moved forward and I've changed my mindset, I've I've made myself who I used to be. I used to get bullied in school. Then they stopped and they treated me all right. And then, people are just assholes, right? But you know what? Those people at those times, they had their own problems at the time, which made them act the way they did. So there's a reason behind everything. But some things are just terrible, and some people are just a foul, right? But you don't want to be around those people. If you have a good body, energy, like, I don't ever say it. If you have a good essence, like your positivity, even though you might have problems, you're still positive and you're still happy despite it all, you can turn the tide. And anybody struggling with like self-harm, depression, suicidal thoughts, just keep on going and realize that the happier you are, the better of the things that will come to you. You'll find people who will appreciate you for who you are. They'll see actually who you are. And they'll be, if anything, your energy introduces you. Not what you say or how you act. Your energy introduces you. If you have a good positive mindset, you will have more friends than you will ever. But sometimes, wise people who are positive, people seem to think that's sort of annoying, and that's their own preference, and you just avoid those people. You just don't let them affect you. But even if you have a few friends that you trust and you can talk to, that they have your back, then stick with those friends and keep a positive attitude up, and maybe you'll find more friends like that, because it's a huge world. There's good people out there, but there's a lot of bad people, so you got to keep your guard up. You got to make sure that you have measures up to where people can't use you. Walk through life with a careful yet kind outlook on people. Careful as you avoid people who could possibly be trouble. I mean, that's common sense, but depression and anxiety, that leads to a lot of drinking and drugs and shit. And it's not a good path whatsoever. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I mean, there's, experimenting in life, right? Everybody experiments. You can't really judge a person based on what they've done, because anybody can turn themselves around with enough dedication and enough, you got to put maybe, all your energy into it, all your effort, and you'll get to where you're at and where you should be. So, anybody struggling with any of that, gotten bullied, treated like shit, just forget what people think about you, alright? There's people who think I'm a loser, and something just flew by me, a mosquito. It's probably going to bite me tonight, but, whatever. You just focus on the things that make you happy. Be happy and bring light to this world, because right now there's so much shit going on. Be a positive difference in the world. Bring people together. Maybe that will redeem perhaps this country and the world, because we gotta focus on positive things rather than negative things. Not bullshit things like Miley Cyrus' ass leaked on fucking Facebook or Twitter. Nothing like that. But instead, focus on things that matter, helping other people out. Because as a species, yes, we are inherently violent. We are. There's no disputing the fact. I mean, look at history. We are inherently like that. And that's before we had the internet and cell phones, and we were still hitting each other in the head with fucking rocks, okay? But I know a lot of people just can't handle it, and they let that side, influence them. But what you gotta do is you can't let that happen. You gotta be the best person you possibly can to make this world better. To show people that not everybody is bad out there. And by being happy, you will find people that think just like you, who thought they'd never find someone they could trust. You'll make a difference in their life, and you'll be a chapter. You won't just be a chapter, you'll be a character in their life. Keep people who you think are worth what they are, and honestly are worth it, and avoid people who are just toxic, because you'll find their own people to hang out with just like them. There's different type of people out there. But that's basically what I had to say on this stuff. And if I can help anybody with these talks or these videos, then leave a like. If it helped you or it helped someone you know, something like that, subscribe, comment, and have a good one.
My world's not spinning the same. The shit looking like it's bigger than Dave. It's so crazy. But when all this sitting at stake, I can't break, even if I'm afraid it might change me.